So yeah, that's kind of like the pep talk part of the conversation. Again, this is a continuation from the CV sessions that we've had. So I'm just going to talk you through like the actual the actual content, which is these interview tricks and hacks, right? So an interview is a story, and off the jump, how you're gonna tell me about you. That's always the first. That's always the first question. You have to prep the answer to that question. You can't just say, "Oh, my name is Timmy." I mean, my name is Timmy Lane, but I go by Tim in Canada. So my name is Tim. I'm a product marketing professional with over 7 years of experience. And everything I say from that, I craft it. If I'm interviewing with Mastercard, I'm going to say, "Oh, I have like 10 plus years of experience, in fintech and SaaS platforms." And then I start talking fintech numbers, fintech metrics. I don't have a one size fits all intro. My intro is designed because the reason when people are interviewing you, they want to know the first one of their big goals is this person a perfect fit? Like, are you gonna hit the ground running? Whether they have training program, look at show them that you're the very best. And when you start talking, you can't waste any sentence. You can't ramble. You can't use lots of fillers. You're not perfect. You're gonna get better. You know, Allah put UD in the chat. I hope we've already started opening UD in one tab and seeing what's going on there. Use it. You have to record yourself. Like Gani said, we do that between what hear yourself back. That's why you have to do a lot of interviews. Because trust me, even me where I did talk, like the interviews I do, I'm like, because you have to aim for perfection because they have so many other people that went to U of T, that went to University of Calgary, went to BC, that's good in the US. The competition is crazy. This is not Lagos. It's Lagos that you go to Unilag. Unilag that is maybe 250 in the world. Once you go to lag boy, take the job. Here, nobody I went to Unilag. Unilag is on my CV. I know nobody cares about Unilag. Nobody cares about Covenant. Even if you went to invest in the UK, nobody cares because competition is crazy. So you have to bring your A game, and when you're in from the time starts now from tell me about you, you have to be perfect. You can't be you're stuttering. No, you have to do all that prep, and that's why you need to do a lot of interviews. Even the ones you're not interested in, even the random ones, just get the call. Just interview so you can get comfortable in front of these people. Some of us are still shy, we're still not confident because we're speaking to like a white person. Sometimes we don't hear what they're saying well. So you have to get out of all of those things, and the way to get out of all of those things is by interviewing regularly. So part of the reason why you interview is not just to get a job, it's also to train. You're training on the job, and the job here is interviewing because you have to be good at it. You have to be great. Days I have off days, I can just tell. Once I just do a bad job of that, my first 2 3 minutes, there's data that says you like they make up their mind in the first 5 minutes. Their interviews I've done, they'll say, "Okay, we love you. We're gonna move you to the next stage." There's interviews where they will just ghost you, tell you, "Okay, great job." So like you would know when you've done a great job because what you're saying, even you're hearing yourself, you're like, There are days I'm like, bro, what the you bad. But there are days I'm also like, oh my guy, you can do better. But like in the last 3 months, my pitch is crazy because I've worked on it. So I'm not. It's not that I'm good. I'm not good. I just over prepare. So as an immigrant, as an African, you have to put in that work on the. Who care in Lagos? Think my CV for Lagos is I'm over Sabi now. How good it prep. I say tell me about you. I say it how I want to say it back in Lagos because my industry I'm like stellar. I've worked in like top places. But like here, nobody cares about that. I worked in Google. People don't care about Google Nigeria. Do you know? But in my experience, I've just realized that for you to get that up, because there was a time when the offer just felt very elusive. Like, is it impossible to get a job in this country? I just did reach final stage. Nigerians in the company self go DM me say, oh, maybe they see am for their intranets. They go DM me for LinkedIn say, wow, wow. Maybe I'm applying for a senior manager job, and they're like, okay, nice one. But I just won't get the offer for months. I just very The people that own me were calling me. Apparently, 2 hours is too long to be away. Anyway, yeah. So your intro section, curate it, use AI tools. Yes, last week we had CV Magic. Maybe some of us have bought into it. Just like tell me about like who am I? Like tell me about yourself. You can't just say what comes to your mind like in that moment. You must have prepped it. You must have like you know played around with it. It has to be very strong. That picture. So it's the same way your resume is customized. Your interview has to be customized as well. Tell me about you. And once you're telling me about you, so again, I said this is a continuation from CV review sessions we've had. You know how I said your CV must, when you look at your CV, even you must be like, who be this? The CV guys blow you away. That's the same way to blow them away, then they'll give you a chance. And what makes your CV blow people away is maybe you went to Harvard, top schools, top certifications, top jobs. All these JD is nice, customized, but all those things are what you call um, points of parity, meaning is it's like everybody has it. Do you understand? So we're all at par. If you don't have it, you're not even in the game. But for you to have it, it means that okay, now you're competing, first of all. So you're competing doesn't mean they'll call you because there's a lot of us that are competing, right? Now, amongst those of us that are competing, there are things that will stand you out. Top school, top jobs, which is why those that I'm being civil with are believe around how we position ourselves to be stand out. So now that you're in the job, like you're in the interview, you have to continue that narrative, that story. So when you say, tell me about yourself, you introduce. So if, for example, I'm interviewing with Mastercard, I'm talking about the times I worked with Visa. I'm talking about the time I did project with New York Financial. I'm getting their attention. There's someone I'm working with. When she started talking about competition, like I always say, you have to talk about competition. They get excited. You have to talk about projects you worked on for the competition. And I mean, I can go into details, in one-on-ones or whatever on how you would do that, how you will really stand out, because those are the things they want to hear, because they don't want you to be the person that you don't even know about us. When they say, tell me, do you what you know about us, don't say, oh yeah, I did some research. I mean, I always say, oh, I know your company very well. My previous roles, I've done a lot of competitive review, competitive work. A company keeps coming up, and I'm always thinking to myself, wow, that's an amazing company because you guys have like lots of strong benefits. When I do your SWOT, they throw industries, be like, oh, tell me, oh, you've done SWOT and all before. Yeah, sure, for sure. Oh, tell me one of some of the findings. So it becomes like a consultation session. I change the the narrative around that interview. It's not call and response. So when I'm saying my tell me about you, I use that time, that real estate to do a lot, such that their follow-up conversations will be probing the things I already said. So I'm in control. I'm driving the conversation. I would mention worked in some project. I mentioned all the project. I'm happy to dive into the details of the project, of the projects I've worked on, or some of that. I'm happy to go into this case because there's questions they're gonna ask you. Tell me about a time when you did this, this, and this. Tell me about it. They are gonna ask about stakeholder management, collaboration, prioritization. How do you prioritize between projects? How do you manage stakeholders? Once you just throw into ChatGPT, this is the job I'm applying for. Tell me 10 good questions they ask me. They're gonna those questions are there. There's no interview you're going to that the questions they pulled it out of one special place. You just didn't prep for those questions. You can do the interview before the interview. ChatGPT will answer the question for you, like person will go Harvard. It's just for you to do the work because this whole thing will take an hour. Like I used to prep sometime for 2 hours just to be perfect in an interview. Now I still prep now for 30 minutes or maybe 45. You have to prep. You have to do the work. You can't just go as you are, no matter how bad you are. You can't go as you are because you're customizing your pitch, your story. That's why there's some jobs you just won't do well at because no matter how you try to customize that story, you can't become the ideal. There's an ideal candidate for every job, and you have to become that ideal candidate. That's the task. So I have like someone asked, you know, asked for prompts. These are just like high level prompts, but like there's some prompts that I use, for my resume. I don't know when I post it here. It's It's in. I mean, in the thing here, you know, the editing kind of like changes. So I'll put it in the group, in tech careers group. But like one of the questions I would ask is, I do a competitive analysis. So I'll say, who are the key competitors for, let's say the company is DoorDash. So if I'm interviewing to DoorDash, I've interviewed at DoorDash 4 times. The third interview was a manager interview, and at that point, I was already earning pretty okay. So they told me the job was the pay was, I think, 130K. I was very excited to tell the guy that, oh, this your money is small. Oh, manager that is managing 3 people. I said, oh, economy. So I was like, that's fine. I think I'm gonna pull out. But I felt good because there was a time I couldn't even interview for those jobs. I don't even get callbacks. But the 4 times I've gotten callback, I talked earlier about the lady when I was speaking to her about the lady that was visibly young. It was an associate. It wasn't even a senior associate. It was an because there's associate and there's senior associate, then there's manager. But I got a call back for that. So my point is, I've interviewed 4 times. It's interesting to me that I've gotten callbacks 4 times, but every time I will customize my CV and my pitch, like my story. So when I'm talking to DoorDash, I'll be talking about Uber Eats. I'm talking about Instacart. I'll be talking about Factor. I'll be talking about HelloFresh. They're not really direct, but like, they are kind of like in the same space, food delivery, So I have like, I would say things like, who are the key competitors for DoorDash in Canada and the US? What's their positioning? And what is their key proposition? Because I just want to understand those guys. Because I use competition a lot when I'm interviewing. So I'm going to say it's the things I did for the competition. So everything in your JD, I'm going to suggest that I've done all of that and even more for your competition. So I have your attention. So you'll now be probing, you'll be asking me, questions around, oh, how did you do this? How did you do that? So I really look at the JD and use the JD to like tell my story, right? So I'm gonna kind of like try to do that for a job. Anyone can. I want to go get my charger to charge my phone, but like if you're currently interviewing somewhere and you want us to use your that job as a case study, you can just put the link in the chat, and then I can use that. So I can just come up with a link. Okay, I have a link here. No, we can't use Tony. Anyone else? I'm already doing what I want with Tony though. Let's do something else like for the benefits of like other people. But yeah, let me just quickly get a charger and then I will literally go through how I work. I own my recruiter. So like once you do this, trust me, you're definitely passing through first stage. Nobody here should be failing first stage. Second stage is hiring manager. Once you get a hiring manager interview, you tick it. The third and fourth stage, if there is up to four, is just similar to hiring manager. They want you to now speak to cross-functional team, maybe director of product or like director of customer success. It's the same narrative because they always ask you the same thing. So the same thing they tell you, the same conversation you have with your hiring manager is what you're going to have. Even if it's a panel of 50, some people, oh, it's a panel, I'm afraid it's the same question. Now, some of them are even tired, they are bored. So I lead the narrative. I give them questions to ask me. So I try to take as much control as possible. But I'll show you like how I do that. Let me just get my charger. Another person can put their link quickly. So give me. Okay, so I have one here, account manager. Um. Okay. Please, who is this account manager person? Okay, sorry, you're here. Your name
That's
is.
me, Jonathan.
Okay, great. I just have a few questions for you. Are you currently working as an account manager?
Sorry, please, can you say that again?
I said, are you currently working as an account manager?
So I had experience managing accounts back in Nigeria, but
Mm-hmm.
in a farmer space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you new to Canada?
Yes, I'm new to Canada. Came in December.
Have you been applying
Yes, I have. I've been applying to pharmaceuticals, fintech, IT, everything.
as an account manager?
Yes, so they have different names: business development manager, account manager, and the likes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, thank you. You don't have, the thing I'm going to say now, you don't have to respond. But I think I said that because just from my experience and some of the folks I've spoken with. And again, I always say my experience and just like I believe in um positioning yourself. I think that when you're a strong candidate, you're more likely to get the job, right? And what that means is like all the factors around that role, the ones you can or cannot control, favor you. So in my experience with that I've got, for example, all my friends are like in oil and gas, you know, in Calgary, just because Nigeria is big on oil and gas, they eventually get jobs, 0 to 6 months, sometimes even early. Like my wife is in oil and gas. I don't know if she did five applications. All this is where they thought it doesn't apply to her because she worked in oil and gas. I know oil and gas people they will probably do trainings in other parts of the world. It was ridiculously easy for us to like get a job, which confused me. Like some of my I started as an engineer, so a lot of my friends, my class boys from school, are also like engineers, project managers in oil and gas. All these guys they just see work easily, right? But there's some industries where, which was kind of like one of the narratives we talked about for a lot of us that converted to PMM on the group. And then, we talked about being a client facing person sometimes in Canada, because even in Nigeria, all over the world, client facing do with optics, soft skills. How do you even in agency, like, does the client even like? Sometimes clients just won't like you for no reason, and they just quickly move somebody, or maybe one fine girl or one boy with tall, way like me now. Some clients used to like me in Nigeria because of my voice. When I present, I just had this, and I speak my phone, and they just used to the even though I was a strategist, there's some clients I was a client facing person just for those random reasons. So I just personally felt in Canada there's so many things as a client facing person you can't control. That's kind of like I was asking you. I know that I was asking you some of these questions I was asking you because I know that my experience is not everyone's experience, but for you to control, the variables as much as possible, you know, you also want to look at the results you've been getting. I tell people to track your applications, track even your rejections, be able to so that you can pivot quickly when necessary. Like I felt like I spent too much time looking for like sales roles, account facing roles. Because even though I was a strategist, like my role at Google was kind of like client facing. So I kind of wanted to stick to that. And I spent like 3 months just getting to final stages of like when I interviewed with Google, Amazon, it was like account executive, client facing roles, but I can't do account executive as well as a 6 foot one, you know, guy, white, went to, you know, Canadian school, has relationship, you're on the call line, you're in sales, account management, or customer success. Don't collect your data from your applications and ask yourself, like, if you've been interviewing for like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, you don't have to be interviewing for that long, in a role where you have to be a strong applicant for the jobs you are interviewing. If you're not strong on paper, they won't call you back. And even when you start getting callbacks, you have to be strong. Like you have to get that reaction in real time. Like I see myself as even with Canadians, white Canadians, I'm one of the best product marketing professionals in this country. And I say it with my chest, and they cannot discount it, even in my office. Because you don't want to be um, expending a lot of energy in a space where you're not going to get like a top job or you're going to get like an average job. Please don't compete. Like the way, for example, some of the people I'm coaching, some of them are like on in their like under 30, which is excites me. Like you can be 28 and you're competing for a 120K job and you're gonna get it. But the average account manager job is not even 100K. Like let's position ourselves because yeah, it's not as elusive as we think it is. Or it should be our entry level because those jobs they just have to position to get into those jobs and become the best in it. As much as I can't do programming because it's hard to pivot into programming, but people pivoting into business analysis or project management or product management just have to like upskill, package yourself, tell your story, um so that as a community, as a people, business development manager work as PMM. Yeah, like if you've done sales, account management, I'll send you the very first PMM video we did, which was our meet and greet, and we talked about transferable skills. That's one of the reasons why I like PMM. That's one of the reason my job is 6 figures. Maybe some might be 88, 90, but even those ones you can negotiate. All because you have to be like, and it's internal marketing. You're not, it's not PR. You're not external facing. Because I did a shit ton of sales interviews. I did another shit ton of marketing manager, PR manager, communications. I mean, I always get callbacks, but I just don't get the offer for like 4 5 months. I was just frustrated in this country. I was, you guys don't want to know. And those positions, if you're married, you can't be transferred to, the home front. It gets
Um,
really nasty, So like,
Coach Tim, sorry to cut you. So about the job I posted. So I kind of had the same feeling with what you said when I wanted to apply. But I just applied anyway. And while the HR person that called to do the screening call called, so I kind of found out that the
Okay.
company is an AI company that's seeking to expand in North America to pharma companies. So basically, they're helping them reduce weight, like some AI solutions to reduce waste in while innovating and all of that. So they need someone that has very strong pharmaceutical background. Having worked with pharmaceutical companies and has the pharma background kind of. So so we having that call with her kind of opened my eyes to see that okay, maybe I could tailor and just realign the the resume and the discussions and the interviews to fit in to say, okay, with this experience that I have in pharma, launching products, do this, then I can bring in business for you in terms of that. And so basically they kind of signed a deal with a very big pharma company in Canada, Novo Nordisk, and they're looking to expand to other ones in Canada as well. So I don't know what you think about that.
sure, sure, sure. Like, I can't even have like a position, like, which was why I said, if you're applying at scale, just collect, data. I always encourage people to track all their resumes so you can, see the patterns and connect the dots. If you've been applying, for example, I was applying to like this roles, getting to even final stage for even like, I did like a few director level interviews. I got to final stage, and for whatever reason, I just won't get the job. Like, the way I wasn't getting a job in like 3 months, 4 months, it was impossible. I just look and say, is either jazz or something is like, something is wrong. I knew something is broken. So those types of, insights, I could make a call. So that's why I asked, like, when do you start applying? So it's, you just have to collect data and be able to, see what's going on based off of, like, I try to pivot as quickly as possible in my decision making so that I can, I mean, live my best life, right? So I just felt like, personally for me, I thought I was doing like a really great job. I just felt like there were variables I couldn't control that was responsible for me not being able to get these jobs. Which, in hindsight, in a way, I'm also grateful, because I also just ask myself, like, as depending on the company, if you get into Google, Facebook, top companies as an account manager or a salesperson, you probably do well, because the way their framework is pretty different. It's not. It's They don't over index on. They're very data driven. So even the way they drive sales and account management in there is very data driven. So you can really see what's responsible for your growth. But in a lot of companies, it's like unknown. So even if you're in those jobs, you just might not be successful. You might not be like one of the top. I like to be the best at, I mean, not just the way me I did think, because I'm literally getting into the second phase of my career and I'm in this country. I don't want to be going through like early phase problems in my job. So I try to make decisions that will set me up for success, right? So yeah, my point is, I can't really speak to your situation, but I would just like for you to collect like data, track all of your moves so that you can at some point be able to say, so we, like, I had applied to like over 500 jobs, done over 50 interviews in sales across the board, from associates to all the way to like team lead, head of sales, head of account management, and I wasn't getting results. And I would get to like third stage, final stage for at least 20. It was just impossible, you feel me? So like, be able to collect those types of numbers for yourself as well, so you can, numbers don't lie. You can now say, I've been doing this for like 3 months back to back. I've been getting good results. Like, if you're doing all the right things, you're going to be getting callbacks. You're going to be interviewing. So you can't be getting to final stage for like 20 jobs and you don't have an offer. That's impossible. You feel me? So kind of like, Which is why you also have to do a lot of numbers so you can get like a lot of data quickly. It's a numbers game. So that's my take on that. But we'll still use this as a case study. So what I just do is I believe you can see my screen. So I just put like the JD into the system. This is me, and then ChatGPT will spit some things out for you, and then I would ask ChatGPT. I always move quickly to I want to know the best way to know what's going on in an industry is to know who are the key competitors. So I'll ask ChatGPT Pat Snap. 1 second. So I'll put the prompt so I can know what's going on in the competitive environment. Because once you start speaking about competitive environment, strengths, weaknesses, environmental factors, political factors, trust me, the recruiter is listening. The recruiter is not. If I are going to, the recruiter is going to cross you because recruiter know to get sense. It's not an industry. It's not. The person recruiter is not a subject matter expert. So once you start speaking subject matter, industry, person just okay. This person is probably qualified. So is when you now. So this prep is like hiring manager prep, but when you use it on the recruiter, you're going to pass because some recruiters want to get technical. Some will just ask you logistics questions. But those that get technical, you want to be ready. So, who are the key competitors for PatSnap? I also put who are the key competitors for PatSnap in Canada and the US, what's their positioning, or I can say what's their value proposition. Yeah, weaknesses. Specify location and report in a table. Include PatSnap. Specify location. So ChatGPT would return like some stuff you can work with. So I don't know anything about this industry. I've never worked in it before, but I think even this Clarivate I've seen it before. But now I can start talking about Clarivate. Sometimes I would say I could also tell ChatGPT like who are the top industry players, or I can say return this in order of market share because I want to know is PatSnap number one, who is number two, who is better than PatSnap. So Clarivate is in the US, end-to-end IP, scientific research and analytics provider, trusted by enterprise and academic users. Potential weaknesses, advanced features can be overwhelming, higher pricing. So you already know that PatSnap, they are pretty complex in their UI because they say advanced features can be overwhelming. So those are things you can speak to. So in your narrative, you talk about ability as an account manager to simplify complex narratives, complex features. That's one of the things that you've done over the last 5 years, right? Working with marketing team to be able to create content, but ensuring to simplify messaging because a lot of times you find that customers get confused with complex, So now you already know some of the things going on in that industry, so you can over-index on that. You can talk about as a in this industry, simplifying proposition is very important because a lot of clients don't really understand what we do. We understand it because we're looking from the inside out, but like customers don't. So as an account manager, how am I able to tell that story so that I can convert the customer, I can help connect my products to their pain points. So now this gist that is coming out here gives you information. So when you're tell me about you, my name is Tim, I'm an account management expert with 5+ years of experience, and I one of the things I do really well is in simplifying narratives and telling a story that gets the customer to buy. First sentence, as again saying, "Oh, in my previous role in Nigeria, nobody cares. They care about what's relevant in all your experience to where they are, where they are going." I also go into, you come here, I go into the JD, what you'll be doing, key points of contact for an account pack consisting of our customers towards the net new renewal, build and maintain strong relationships with the world's greatest innovators. So they're working with innovators. So you want to go into that, what's happening there, right? I will also say things. I will also ask ChatGPT things like, what does PartSnap do? How do they make money? Like I can find on their website, but I want to know here. What does PartSnap do? What's their business model? Because you want to understand this company, so you can speak to the company, what they do, what's their business model. Um, okay. Highlight things I need to know to stand out as a top key things I need to know. Keep it as an executive summary. So the guy no go to talk. And if sometimes I have typos, but I just leave it. ChatGPT will figure it out. So AI powered innovation intelligence platform. So as we talk like this, you're now an expert in intelligence and innovation platforms. So my name is Tim. I've worked in so for 5 years, particularly working with innovation hubs and intelligence platforms. Right. So any whatever is in my CV. If, for example, I always encourage people like, if you worked at KPMG, I'll say I've worked with global leaders such as Clarivate, this, that. You already have their attention. So you have to curate your story. Here business model operates a B2B SaaS subscription model, selling licenses to enterprise. These are your talk points. Over the last 5 years, I've really focused on licensing, sales, negotiation with enterprise customers, and especially navigating the slippery slope of intellectual property, because it says here it works with IP professionals and innovation leaders. There's a way you have to engage when you're speaking with these types of customers. And over the last few years, I truly believe that I have mastered the art. Happy to dive into some examples as I go along, case studies of the work I did with Clarivate. But before I even go into that, let me share with you some of my, you grabbed them by the balls, pardon my French, from the moment you open your mouth. So you're not talking about, oh, my first job, my this, nobody cares. You didn't go to Harvard. Your first job is not in McKinsey. Tell a story they will care about. So that's tell me about you, right? And then some of these key competitors, I'm going to tell, oh, sorry, one second. I think I'm still on LinkedIn. Um, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So things you need to know to stand out, understand life science use cases. So if we're going to tell ChatGPT, speak to value, not features, right? So I'm going to tell ChatGPT to, I think I have a prompt. One second. Share a PM great. I love this prompt. So I'll say share a case study for Pat. So add two top competitors for PatSnap. Oh, sorry, for Clarivate. Clarivate. Focus on job JD, key objectives from JD, because there's some objectives in the JD. For Clarivate and Clarivate is there anything else in Toronto? So that means even this industry is not big in Canada. It's maybe there's a lot of your, I don't know, like a lot of your competitors are in the US and outside. Because here it doesn't even show any competitor in Toronto, only PatSnap. And even PatSnap is HQ'd in Singapore, right? So Clarivate and one more, I guess. Focus on key objectives from JD. So I'll go to the JD and I'll just recopy, just so it's fresh in the guy's head, what you'll be doing from JD below. I think I always tell it. I want to tell it like the format. Sorry, 1 second. Um, mm, mm, mm. Okay, let me just. So it's a return like tailored case studies for you. So here, the challenge here is several key clients for analyzing core models. So now you can. So basically, when I'm talking, when I'm sharing my page, I'm like, and it just, I also realize that a lot of our clients underutilize, key features. So a lot of times you're trying to upsell them or even get them to begin to use those features, and it comes from a place of not understanding our entire product suite, right? So I'm able to get customers to utilize our products end to end. And that way, I'm able to earn incremental revenue for our clients. I mean, that doesn't sound right, but essentially, you would master that your pitch. These are the things you want to say, and then these are case studies you can speak to. This is how I did it for Clarivate. So this is literally a live case study with numbers. So when they say tell me about a project that you worked on, you have case studies here. There's another company here called Elsiva, right? So I do a lot of this prep before I go into the interview, so that when they say tell me about you, I have a lot to work with. I know how to position myself to be a strong candidate. I can speak to the competitors. Like I always say, if you work at MTN and you're interviewing someone that has worked at Airtel, like you're already excited, or even maybe you didn't know, and when they tell you, "Oh, I worked there," "Oh, really? What did you do for Airtel?" Or you are at GT Bank and you're interviewing at Access Bank, and you're talking about what some of the things that I do. This is my number one, competition. Best believe Access Bank. They're talking about GT Bank when they are doing like their sessions and their retreats. So if they bring someone that has done projects for those companies, they are more curious, right? So you're already like bringing yourself to the top of the pool by having those conversations. So those are some of the things that differentiates you, like when you're interviewing, and then you prep a lot of the questions are the same. Stakeholder management. Tell me about the time you were able to work with a team. What were some of the problems you had when you were working with that team, and how did you fix them? Tell me about the time you worked with senior leaders. So maybe two senior leaders that were not seeing eye to eye. How did you manage them to achieve your goals? Tell me about the time you worked on a project. Like it's the same questions, but how do you answer those questions without rambling? Without saying you know how do you use structured responses using lists? How do you prioritize your projects, to make sure that you're using your time the right way? Well, when it comes to prioritization, I use, what's the name of, there's a framework that I use, I can't remember, like urgent and important. There's, that framework. So you just say sure. So when it comes to that, I look at four things: one, two, three, four. Thank you. Does that sometimes I'll say, oh, does that answer the question? Is there any area you'd like to clarify? Or sometimes when I say what I want to say, I'll be like, oh, just to quickly recap, these are the four ways: one, two, three, four. Like you want to be very clear, very concise, not speaking for too long. Sometimes when you don't know what you need to say, you're rambling. So you speak for 2 3 minutes, saying nothing. That's clear. Keep it short, keep it clever. And when you prep, and the name of the game is prep. Once you've prepped, you know, you're ready. Once you've Yeah, thank you, Eisenhower Matrix. So like once you're able to give structured answers, it just makes it easy for your interview to flow. And once you're done, you know that okay, you move to the next stage. And so one of some people I'm coaching, I tell them like as much as possible they should record their conversation so that we can, pick holes and see areas where they really, really need to like improve on. But I'll stop there. I don't know if there's like any questions. Just to recap, it's mostly lots of prep. People will be saying, people will say a lot to me. Oh, which prompts doesn't really matter. As the thing is coming to your head, tell ChatGPT. When it answers you, just know what you want to see. Put the prompts. Even if you put the prompt in pigeon, it will answer you. Like literally. So having prompts is not the problem. The problem is you would literally sometimes I spend 2 hours doing this dance. because the way ChatGPT has returned this case study may not be the way I want it. I might say, oh, focus more on the problem. I can say, can you show how you pivoted using data? So I want my story. ChatGPT can help you craft your story to be very strong, but you have to sit in front of the guy and be asking the guy a jam question. You'll be there for 2, 3 hours. Of course, the 2, 3 hours you put into prepping for one interview is not wasted, because the next time you want to interview, you already have that prep. You already know the prompts that worked. So prompts are not cast in stone, because once you enter it, it will well, sometimes what it returns for me or what it returns for you will be different. So you need to send a counter prompt to get it to say exactly like what you want to hear. So the real work is in prep, applying. Get your resume right first of all. Like I always say, your resume is your tool. It has to be near perfect. The more you apply, you begin to realize, for example, some of the guys that I'm working closely with, I already know that this resume is working, because you've gotten X number of callbacks. So I know the resume is working. So great. If it's not broke, you don't fix it. Now double down on using this same resume to get more callbacks. Because that's the first level of success, your first milestone. The second milestone is passing the phone screen. It's easy enough, but I pass 80%, because I would like to say I'm 100%, but even the time that I didn't pass my phone screen, for example, I did this gorgeous. Gorgeous is like intercom, customer success as a service, right? They do customer success support for Shopify. And when I was doing I lost that pitch, that interview from my entry, because when I started and I was talking about my experience, I didn't go deep into, oh, it's almost as if the recruiter wanted me to open my mouth and say, all my life I've worked as customer with CCAS, customer success as a service. That's what they wanted to hear. But I still focused on, oh, when I was a publicist, I did digital marketing. Da, 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 da. So I felt like I did a great job, right? But like when she came back to me and I asked her, what could I have done, but she was like, oh, they had a lot more people that had done customer success, particularly all their career, and they thought they were like a much stronger fit. So off the jump, I could have just said, oh, while I was a publicist, I was working in the customer success as a service team. When I worked at Google, that's all I did. That's what they want to hear. Is it really possible that you've worked for 7, 8 years and all you've done is customer success as a service? Of course not, but probably that's what those people said. So you have to almost be a perfect fit for some of these jobs for you to get them. So it's your storytelling. You don't want to waste seconds talking about things nobody cares about. So it's understanding your audience and designing your pitch to Kate. And you can tell ChatGPT. In fact, I say, okay, I can't say that now because ChatGPT already knows me. But you can literally type into your ChatGPT. I always do that too. How should I introduce myself for this job to the interviewer to stand out? It will give you something. Something will make sense, but you give it counter prompt again to rework it, make it, sexier, and you can tell it cut it down to a 2 second pitch. You literally have this tool. It's almost free, so you can use it to like tailor your pitch. So your resume is tailored, great. You're getting callbacks, but you also have to tailor and customize.
Coach
Your,
Tim,
but yeah, because even this your question for me to answer it properly, I usually don't want to record like um my take. I don't know if Banker is still on the call, but yeah, apologies. All right, great. To share your story, and I'm really excited for that because I remember when we met. She was like, she was like frustrated, like which kind of life you did. It's crazy, and like just a little over a month. She was able to grow her income by about 50%, which is great. But most important thing I want to take from what she said is putting in the work. There's at least this is our tech career group and PMM and AML. We're over 1,000, and I'm doing one-on-ones with like at least 50 people, and I can tell you guys for free, only 5 of those 50 are serious. So everybody comes with excuses. The excuses are, oh, I close late, I this, I that, I wake up, and we are looking for work. We're unhappy with our situation, but we still find a way to come up with like excuses, because there will always be excuses. Like I have excuses for days as to people don't really know my life in Lagos. I have excuses. I should be frustrated. I should be this. I should be that. but I still show up. Like now, manager is not even enough for me. So I'm hungry. Like I'm putting in the work, and I have family. I have like, you know, I mean, people that depend on me. So I'm busy. I'm busy, but I can't have excuses. You know, so put in the work. People are full of excuses. Yakpa, like it's crazy. I'm a free resource. Like you use me for free. There are people that pay for what I'm doing. But people still have a way to give me excuse. Look at all the things that like Allah is doing differently. Look at all the efforts that she puts in, you know. But there's one other person I want to share a story. Like for her, she came, complained as well. You know, tired. I mean, she should never find work, but her job is loading. But like I said to her, like your results are, you know, your results show in what you've done in 1 month. Trust me, in another 2 months, you're gonna get more than an offer, right? So I also want her to speak. I know Ola has experience. You know, she also went to like she schooled in Canada, so like maybe you because people me I just school in Canada just because I have Google on my CV. People still say, "Oh, that's an edge." So you can say, "Oh, last." So I want a lot to speak because there's people that will connect to your last story. Because there's also a lot of people that my first job was kind of like a last first job. I hated it, but I was frustrated with this, right? But I, you know, did I just didn't complete because there's people that say, well, I've been in this job for 2 years and I'm earning X amounts, and it baffles me how you're in that job for 2 years, but I'm still telling you what to do, and you're still giving me excuses. You know, like oh, I close, and then I get into the TTC by 6:30. I get home by 8:30. I'm tired, but you eat now and you sleep. Why can't you put an extra two? If your office says from tomorrow you'll be closing by 8, you don't go resign. No, you work it into your routine and your schedule, but you're not willing to work your hunger for your next job into your routine and your schedule. You know, so like we need to people say, oh, like banker said, when they see 200 jobs, 200 jobs day, there are people that will sit them down and I'll show them this is where yeah, Tala will get you. This is where you see all the jobs. You know, like I'm a marketing person. There's product marketing, there's events marketing, there's field marketing, there's partner marketing, there's brand manager, there's marketing man. You go see more than 200. And I say again, it's not all these jobs that you be a perfect fit for. Some interviews is just for you to train because you need to train, you need to get comfortable. You know, like I said all the time, even little things like small talk. People are like, "Ah, man, I don't really know how to do small talk." You think I know how to do small talk? You think I mean, few people wait on me for Nigeria. I don't. I know they do small talk. I'm always losing my face. I'm not a friendly guy, but here I will be friendly. Hey, nice top. I love your jacket. I don't care about the jacket, but I just want to connect with you. You know, where you based? Oh, you're based in Chicago. Like, oh, okay. You know, actually, they talk. I'm based in Chicago. I just quickly Google fun stuff, fun things to eh, what's in the call that thing? Fun things to do in Chicago. You know, just connect, just to talk a little. Some people would be happy to connect with you and gist. Some people just want to get straight to you. That's fine. If you're trying to gist and they shrug you off, it's okay. Move with, you know, pivot and adapt. But there's people that have gisted for 5 weeks, 5 minutes. Talk about their dog. Oh, I just got divorced. What's my business? But well, you know, that means we're gonna warm up the conversation. You know, so there's so many ways we have to like just and after you do all those things, you may never get to second stage. But it's okay because you're practicing. You're getting like right now, they can text me now that I have an interview in 30 minutes and I'm ready. Because I've this year alone, I've done over 70 interviews. Not to talk of since I came to this country. I go don't do up to 1,000. I need to go and check my tracker to see my count because I just interview. It's not all the jobs that I want. There's some jobs I take the offer and I won't reject it, but I know I'm not gonna take it. I just look for ways to sneak. I got the Toshiba offer in November. I knew I was not gonna take it. It was like 60K. I knew from the jump it was 60K, and I already had a job that was higher than that. But I just did it for the interview, for the experience, you know, because I'm constantly trying to be better at my interviewing skills, no matter where I'm at. So we'll take Tola's question. Okay. And I just
Okay.
want me to speak to I really like the effort she brings in, you know, even though I say to her like there's more, you can do more, but like just that putting in that work, she's getting lots of rejections, but she's also gotten like lots of callback. But yeah, we'll get to Tony's story. Share, Luatala, your question. Is it, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, there's so many groups on tech career. There's AML, there's, I think, product managers. So, like, just because you know, Banker was getting like some demand for PMM. So I think we kind of like had enough people showing interest. And I was like available to kind of like, because different people like lead different groups. I don't know if you're in the tech careers or even not tech career, like and then like Canadian life, Nigerian Canadian life. There's so many different groups there. So PMM is just one of those groups. So it's because different people are like in different people kind of like manage different groups. So that's kind of like where.
Basically, it's almost the same thing, right? Like I got a couple of friends and we started, can you wind up this? We started the 30 days challenge, like applying for jobs and let's see what the market is offering. Let's see how sellable we are. Let's see what we can get. And all of a sudden, I got 20 people that signed up and we started applying daily and we've been getting results and everything. So it's been very good. And play, I did it. I got an offer and I'm resuming that one too. So it's doable. Like I tell people, any opportunity to do interviews, sell yourself, and have more conversation because the job market is different. We're going to talk about it in the Twitter space today, but it's just the same thing my guy is saying here. There's nothing different that we're not doing. We're doing almost the same thing, right? So let's just try this thing, put our application out there. You can never say you can be too comfortable in your current role. I don't know what they're offering outside. And I find out that anytime I just take this leap of faith, it always works. And I'm nowhere in doubt, it works. And any opportunity to do interview, to sell myself, to get conversation, me, I did jump for them. I know they look back. You get me? So that's what I would advise anyone here to do. And just we take it from there, basically.
Cool, thanks. So I mean, it's simple stuff. So you said it, I've said it, Ola said it, but it's one common string is it's just in life generally. There's always excuses. So people, I think people don't put in the work. Like you said, that they have like a 30 days challenge. Apply every day. You have to apply every day. You have to do good numbers every day, as many as possible, because that's the only way to like reduce like your odds. And we started the PMM group very recent. Even that PMM group, maybe we're like 50 now. Like I said, less than 10 people. Every time we put up a poll or we tell people to comment on something, and only 10, the same 10 people answer. You get. So that group, they were like maybe 50 or there, but only 10 people are serious. So that group is like 10 people, at least the ones that are going somewhere, trying to, even though we are all in Canada complaining. So you just have to be one of those people that have decided that even if I end my day at 11:30, I'm going to apply and sleep at home. Why? My own energy is, since I came to Canada, is Canada almost is, even though it looks like I'm having results, but compared to where I was in Lagos, I'm not even close. So it's easy to get better. You get, it's a long game. That Canada is a long game. But please, why am I asleep? Some days I go wake up 3 a.m. I'm angry all the time. I go just carry my laptop just as they apply. So like I'm confused when people say like you're entering TTC Toronto, you're stressed, you're frustrated, but you refuse to change your life. It's crazy for me. But majority of people like complain and will keep, even this call we're at 60, going on 70. Less than 10% of us. I mean, we're even trumping the Pareto principle. It's supposed to be 20%. Probably 10 or less than 10 would action, these things that we're saying. Because I mean, within this Canadian life, it's free resources, free help, free support. People pay for it, over $1,000, $2,000 sometimes for 2 to 3 months support. You're getting it for free, but you're still not using it, right? So yeah, we're still gonna get to like little things that I advise my people when it comes to like interviewing. I use ChatGPT for that, so I'll just get on ChatGPT and kind of like show us. But I just wanted to share some of these stories. So my goal is to get as many as possible. I don't know if Lauren Shaw is also here. He's also like the people say all these people, they're just putting in the work. That's it. They're just hitting their head against the wall. That's it. And eventually, you start chipping away at the wall, and you start to get answers. So while I think for Lauren Shaw has done maybe like two final stages, he's constantly applying as well. I don't know if he's on the call, if you can also say one or two things, but just keep it short. But it's just to show you that literally, if you wake up tomorrow and you start putting in the numbers, 15 customize. It takes time to customize. It's stressful. But are you not already stressed in your life in this country? Do you understand? Like, it's stressful, but like I would rather do that because it's stress that gives me results. My my natural de facto stress is just stressing me. It's not giving me results. But like I've seen results just by putting in, work. I've like more than doubled my income since I came here in April. And like I want to more than double it by next year, so it's just like it's just putting in that work, you know. So that's why I'm sharing like this um testimonials from people because they're just putting in the work. So like Toyin, you know, you can also speak to like your number. You can start like when I met her, she just finished interviewing with um Shopify. And I didn't tell her, but I knew that she was most of these. See, you can't be interviewing to one or two or three places because you're going to eat breakfast. It's normal. It's a fact of life. So that's why you need to be doing plenty. So one feed just go click, and even that when it clicked, I wasn't expecting it. My mind was not there. I just did the interview and I walked away. 3 weeks late, 3 weeks they called me for second stage. I was like, "Ah, people are still here, no wala," because I was distracted by other interviews I was doing. So they could have been the one that clicked, but they could have been the one that sent me rejection. That's okay. Like I don't expect anybody to give me an offer. I just apply and I'm doing 10, 15, 20 interviews. And then one day one go click. That's it. Because once you begin to have leverage, then you eventually get to the position where you can call shots and you can negotiate and you can say, "Oh, I don't want this." Then at that time your conversion rate will increase. But like right now, depending on when you came to Canada, you're like get mouths. You can't. The only thing you can do is to like apply. Surprised that she's getting this number of callbacks, but I think that I'm not surprised because you're getting those callbacks. She's getting a ton of rejections as well, but because she's doing so many numbers, she can see because the conversion rate she still has is maybe 3%, but because she's doing so many, she's now like I think last week you got two or three. Even me, I know because I can see her tracker. I can see she's getting callbacks this week and next week. It's a numbers game. So she's not that's it's not luck anymore. She's in control. And then like that, she'll get to final stage. She'll get plenty rejections in final stage too, but you just need one. And then she'll get the offer. And she literally just started last month. She's been in this country like for months, but she just started like this program like last month, and she already has like results to show. But see, I'm good now. Just,
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Joy, and I met Tim in March. But in March, I wasn't so, doubling down on my application. And like he said, I had an interview with Shopify, which I think I got to the third stage. And I was trying to see how that goes. And then facing roles might not be it for like a Nigerian and a Black person. And you probably can relate to their market or what they're selling. That's what they think, anyways. So I started applying judiciously, I think from 3rd of April, and so far I've done over 100. And the first few weeks, I wasn't getting a lot of callbacks yet because he says that most times it's probably not immediately you see like the results. It starts to come later. And I would say like over the last 3 weeks, I've had about 5 interviews. I did 2 this week. I got rejected from one. And the next one, I was moved to the second stage, which I have next week. So next week I have 3 interviews, PMM roles as well. But I've had like interviews for brand strategists because I always tailor on my resumes. And I know that it takes time, but sometimes in a day, I might not do 5. If I don't do 5, the next day I know that I want to do up to 15 or 20. So it's just something that like some days I'm not 100%, but like I still try to meet up with the numbers anyway. And before I didn't used to apply on weekends. I just take weekends to relax. Like I can't keep myself. I've been doing a lot during the week, but from last week I started like also applying on weekends, maybe Saturday, and then just leave Sunday free or something. But I still like try to apply when I can. But there's some days I'll have meltdowns and I'll not get to apply. I just tell him that I just be straight, like today, honestly, I've not done anything and I don't feel great and I don't think I can do anything. And he'll be like, that's fine. Just know that you have to double up your numbers when you continue applying. So, I mean, I think what we're working on now is getting to more stages because now I'm confident that I would get a lot of callbacks because I never got this much callbacks before. And I keep telling him, like, I've never done it before. And I just start to time myself also on resumes. I try to do the 15 minutes mark, like, oh, how long does it take me to tailor my resume? Because I already have my prompts that I use to tailor every section of my resume, the summary, my strengths, or my experiences on my resume. I already have like the prompts. So it's just copying and pasting and editing to see if it looks perfect, for the application. So before I was trying to meet the 15 minutes mark. So if I do 15 minutes for one resume, then it could take me like 5 hours to do, maybe 10. So I started tracking that as well. But as of now, I'm on 25 minutes per resume. Sometimes it gets to 30 if the application has more questions that they're asking you, oh, why do you want this role? Or do you have experience in launching a product? Or what's your favorite campaign so far? So the ones that they have questions in takes longer time to, complete it. But I still like end up still like doing under 30 minutes per resume. And if I do 30 minutes per resume in 4 hours, that's like 4 applications. So sometimes I might get to like 15, I might do 12, which sometimes is always okay for me. Like, okay, 12 is a good number. But sometimes if I do below 10, I know that I've not done enough. And the next day I always have to catch up. But like I'm so grateful for Teamy because everything, like even if I get rejections now, I don't feel sad about it. I'll just keep applying because rejection it says that is part of the game. One of the interviews that they're moving me to the second stage, I applied since 3rd of April and they got back to me last week. That's like 3 weeks of no feedback. And luckily I've gotten to, not luckily, I mean we've also put in the work. I got to the second stage and I'm doing that next week. So I'm just like excited to move forward. I know that there's more. I mean, some of these applications I've done, I've gotten to second stage, they've ghosted me, which is also fine as well. Like, and I know that that particular interview, I probably killed it, but I don't know why they ghosted me. But I'm not hurt about it. Like, you just keep moving forward. It's not everybody that's going to call you back, like he says as well. Like, not everybody's going to call you back. If you get rejected, you can still apply again, which is something that I want to start doing like this month. Since some have gotten rejected, but I'll apply again this month and see if the application is still open, I'm still going to apply again because there's sometimes that you have to apply like more than 2 or 3 times before you get a call back. And it's just like trying to also perfect your resume. My LinkedIn matches my resume. I'm great. I'm happy about my results. I'm just looking forward to getting a job and keep putting in the work. And I know my interviews are not perfect. Right now I'm probably talking too fast. That's part of the things I'm working on interviews to, talk slower for them to understand what I'm saying and not them like giving me feedback that they have to, repeat themselves and repeat myself when I'm interviewing with them. So those are things I've also had feedback on. I record my interviews now, and sometimes if Timmy has time, he listens to them and gives me feedback that, oh, maybe you have to be slower, you have to be less nervous, you have to be more confident. The way you're talking to me is the same way you're meant to be talking to them, pretty much. Um, no, I said my LinkedIn matches my resume. Like the same thing on my LinkedIn is what's on my resume. Want to look at my LinkedIn, it's the same thing that's seen on my LinkedIn, that's seen on my resume. I think that also helps most times when you have a LinkedIn link on your resume. It also helps them to know that this is a real person and like it's a real person that's applying for a real role as well. So these are the things that have helped me. I apply for senior roles, I apply for normal roles, I apply for associates as well. Like I just apply to everything. And yeah, pretty much that's everything. And I'm grateful for Tim so far. He's been amazing, he's been great. Like I've been saying that I can't wait to be part of a success story that yes, this is somebody that he coached that got a job. Like I can't wait for that to happen. And yeah, that's everything that's helped me so far. So yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. So I mean, it's like again, it's just effort, putting in the hours, the work. Because now she's in control. Because if she gets unfortunately denied, it's fine. I know say, you know, I'm gonna get like an interview tomorrow or the next day because she's doing the work. If you snooze, you lose. Tomorrow night, she's from next month week night, if she stops applying no more. To learn here. You just be hoping and praying. But now, yes, we're praying, But now we're giving God something to work with, right? Beyond like praying and all of that. Now you're like you you have like a lot of work for God to bless. Because there's also the work, the God side of it, the grace side of it, the being positive. I wake up expectant. I'm constantly refreshing my email because I know say something must drop, and then something will drop. Then one thing she said also about there's some places you apply to. For example, when I even my Loblaw job I had applied before, and then I didn't get callbacks, and then I saw it again 2 months. Some people ask me that should they apply to a place that they've been rejected. There's people like I know Amazon, Google. There's some companies. There's a company called Keep. Is that like PMM roles? They they would when you apply, they say, "Oh, you've not applied. Like you've applied to this job before." Some people give you a timeline, like, "Oh, you try again in 3 months." But there's some jobs that they really don't mind. I've gotten callbacks from companies that rejected me, like Mastercard rejected me twice, and then Coconut Head. I keep hitting my head against the wall. Like since January to date, I've applied for jobs every day. Is that not madness? But that's what it takes. Like literally every day. And I've interviewed every month, maybe every other week. You would think by now I'll be the president of a company. But that's the number of work, ridiculous. Nobody chases us from Nigeria now. If you could fit in Nigeria, being your senior manager job, any 1.5, living in phase one or Ikate or whatever. But you want blue passport, you want to be global, so you have to pay a price. It's what it is. It's what it is, and the only way to accelerate all of that is to put in the work. And every time you do more interview, you're gaining time because it's like 5%. If you do 100 really really good CV sent out, maybe you get 3 to 5 interviews. Those 3 to 5, most likely, it's not going to turn into an offer. Now, if you do 100 in a month, great. If you do 200 in a month, you've gained 1 month because you'd have done 200 in 2 months. So you're gaining time. It's a numbers game. You can gain 6 months just by doing that. You can gain 1 year just by increasing your count. You can do 300. I've done 500 applications in a month before. Me, I be machine. Hey, God, I beg. I'm applying to Kini. This call now is 2 hours. After this call, as I'm talking to people, already texting me on WhatsApp from this call and from the group. I'm still gonna do one-on-one with them. So I'm managing my time. People will be like, why are you doing? Because I do a crazy amount of one-on-ones as well. And I think I'm gonna apply. I have, a family. So maybe you guys are hearing my baby in the background. Do you understand? Like, so you can do it because the more applications you do, the more your conversion rates. The end. She's Tonya has done maybe like 120. I told her that you can do more than 120. She's gotten, you know, like 7 if you count the ones where she moves to second stage. But let's just say 5. But imagine she does 300 next month. That's 15. For me, you should get an average of 3 callbacks a week if you are seriously putting in the work. That's 12 a month. Guess what? You can do that 12, no offer. Sometimes you imagine all that 12, maybe out of 12, you cross over like next stage for like 7. Sometimes that 12 can take you 2 months to finish that cycle. That apply interviewing is work because you're gonna prep, you're gonna do the actual interview. If you have 3, it's a lot of work, and it's like you just dey pour water inside basket because you do all that work, no offer. You're still gonna get frustrated, but you have to expect it so that when the frustration is come. Because I told her like this cycle you're on, you're getting excited, you're having you know this feel good hormones pumped into your system. But in another month, by the time you finish this whole cycle of 7 different jobs, no offer, there will be a down. Expect it because you're gonna feel it, but you gotta keep moving. That's the work. It's like a job. Applying is like a job. So it's a lot of work, and I've concluded less than 10% of people are going to be willing to print. Everybody gets excited. Out of the last Saturday, everybody, oh my god, amazing! At least 30 people DM me, maybe 5, last 5 star. Out of that 5, maybe 2. So it's a numbers game. Like I said to some of them on the call, everybody's going to be excited. very few are going to actually put in the work and get results. And I will say to them in real time, are you going to be one of them? I'm like, I will be one of them. Okay, we'll find out. You get, so like, these things are doable. That's why I'm having these folks talk to you. For Larisha, if you're on the call, can I also just quickly, he's also like putting in with work, getting results. You have a couple of interviews lined up. I think he's done like 1 or 2 final stages. One final stage, don't tell him, say, don't chop breakfast. I'm like, that's fine. Your first few final stages, you're going to chop breakfast. It's okay. Like, you just need one, and that one can come in month 3. Well, you're going to give up. For that, they go say, now we'll give up, fuck up. Because it's not better that you're putting in the work and you're getting some small results, and then month 5. And all these guys, 6-figure jobs, we don't do 60K here, we don't do 70K here. Strictly 6 figures, So like, it's worth it. It's gonna come through. Even like, if you refuse to put in the work and be ambitious and burn the midnight candle, you're just gonna be stuck in your 70K job, thinking, oh, thank God I have a 70K job. It's hard in Canada. It's hard, but there's people getting rich. This guy is a VP. He landed in this country in 2018. Was an assistant manager. I have friends that landed in this company in 2018. They're saying they're 70K because they think it's not possible. Canada is not for us. Who says? Me, a VP loading next year when I go see, because it's Lagos now. So you need to be ambitious. You need to be hungry. If you can't do 200 applications a month because you don't have time, it's confusing for me. Maybe you should go back to Lagos. Like, we have to put in the work. Like, we're doing this shit not just for us. We're doing it for our generation. The thing don't turn political movement though. You're not doing it for yourself. Like, you're doing it. I don't know. That's what drives me. Everybody's saying, oh, wow, where do you get the inspiration? Because I'm hungry. I had a great life in Lagos. But if you're going to be global, why are you global and you're at the bottom of the food chain? Like, put in the work. Apply. It's doable. It's just to, what's it called? It's just to customize. Yeah, it takes 10 hours. It takes 12 hours. You have it. What are you doing?